All right.
Hi.
Hey, we're halftime for the Grammys.
Halftime?
Yeah. They take it, isn't the time where the football players run out, the entertainers go backstage?
Are you thinking about the weekend performing at the Super Bowl? And he actually was not nominated at all for any Grammys?
Oh, he's boycotting it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's boycotting it permanently.
Why? Because that's why he didn't get nominated.
No, he didn't get nominated. That's why he's boycotting. Anyways, happy Sunday, guys. Happy Grammy night.
Happy Pie Day.
As you can see, we are on and not watching the Grammys, although
We were watching the Grammys.
We were watching the Grammys, yes.
And we heard people rev their engines out inside the Staples Center.
When Megan Thee Stallion was giving her speech.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this is our second Pie Day doing one of these.
Yes, and as Gabriel, he reminded us of last year's Pie Day episode. And if you don't remember, you can go catch it on Stanley's Twitter. I forgot that even happened. I won't rehash the weird moment that occurred, my being really naive. So if you want to watch that, just go to his Twitter.
It's a Rip Van Winkle moment.
Yeah. Damn, we already got a thumbs down.
Already?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Wow, you know why?
Because we're on during the Grammys?
No, they want to see me catching people misbehaving and not talking about people misbehaving.
Oh, well.
It is what it is, Everybody counteract that thumbs down with a thumbs up. There we go. So if you haven't been paying attention, I had the Rawini podcast has kind of picked up a little bit of traffic because I had a pretty good guest on last week. He was actually pretty, two OGs, as people call it. We were talking about the hate on hate crimes, the hate crimes against Asians, and got a lot of mail from people saying that that we're making it bigger than what it is. But if we spoke about it, then it must be an issue because I don't just speak about random stuff for no reason. So it was a good one. He had a good podcast. I brought it to light. It's out there. It's doing really good as podcasts go for what we've done. And I'm happy about it. So, and yes, you're right. Arcade Revolution, people still can't drive and they never will be able to drive. But we are noticing now that as the pandemic is starting to, not break, but as it begins to get the virus out, the anti-vaccine out for everybody.
The vaccine, not anti-vaccine, just vaccine.
The vaccine, okay. The vaccine out for everybody. People are becoming a lot more complacent. They think, I got the vaccine, but what happened in Hawaii?
Well, in Hawaii, there were some Hawaiian residents that traveled, they were fully vaccinated and then ended up getting the virus. Although it wasn't severe, their symptoms weren't severe, they still ended up getting the virus. They didn't transfer it to anybody else, which is good. There was also another Hawaiian resident that ended up was only vaccinated, only received the first dose and ended up getting the UK variant. But there's no signs that person transferred it on to anybody else either. But the point of it is that even if you are fully vaccinated, CDC health officials advise you to at least wait 2 weeks for the vaccine to kick in, because it's just like with the flu vaccine. You have to wait 2 weeks for you to be fully immune before, or 2 weeks for it to fully kick in. So same with COVID vaccine.
So I have to get my COVID vaccine and then I start a countdown for 2 weeks and then I can go out and be whatever I want to be?
No, not at all.
Well, what can I do?
You can do everything you're doing right now.
I can go on the bus with no mask?
No. Well, because you don't know if everyone has been vaccinated or not.
I know. I just wanted to interact with you.
You just want to get caught misbehaving, don't you?
No, I don't want. Trust me. Speaking about that, and not speaking about misbehaving, but my sister's funeral is next Saturday. It'll be held in Texas. It'll be virtual. And if you don't know, if you haven't logged on yet, my sister died of COVID about 2 weeks ago after getting it and then having a series of strokes. So her funeral will be next Saturday. So, depending on how it happens, I'm not sure what we're going to do Sunday or not yet, but let me just get by that day first and make things so you can know what's going on. And I think somebody said, I think it crashed. What do you think crashed, Arcade? Did we crash? No, we're still here.
Don't know.
Oh, okay, I don't know. Elmo shirt, that's not it. This is me, the white guy, as somebody called it.
I think he said he missed Elmo shirt guy earlier.
Oh, he was He was on?
No, he just says he misses him, I think.
Oh, okay.
I miss Elmo's shirt. He
Oh,
didn't say Elmo shirt guy. He just said, I miss Elmo's shirt.
Elmo shirt guy. Yeah, that guy is like famous all in himself, you know? And I don't know what he's doing or how, you know, maybe I should get him on the show one day on the Rawini podcast.
If you want.
That'd be interesting.
Thank
you, Maria.
I could,
You
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, you could care less.
I could care less. I'm indifferent.
So we watched part of the Grammys. And
yes, and the part that I was looking forward to that I saw, which I'm happy came on before we got on, was
Tupac.
No, which would have actually been really cool, but no.
Anderson .Paak?
It was Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars with their new group Silk Sonic.
I thought it was Anderson, Tupac, Cooper.
You are seriously a...
But you know what's something we noticed?
But I'm seriously a millennial.
One of the groups that we watched on there was the Black Pumas.
Black Pumas, yeah.
And the dude was just on the Jennifer. Thank you, Gabriel. Ivy does, and then she was a busker in New Mexico.
He moved from New Mexico.
No, but she was.
Oh,
Ivy was. Jeanette was a busker in New Mexico. He moved from New Mexico. And they moved all the way up to Santa Monica and busked out there. And now he's on the Grammys.
So his story was really cool.
So
I love it. Gabriel says, this is what happens when my mom lends me her credit card.
Oh, we
don't want you getting in trouble. That's for sure.
Yeah, you missed a couple zeros there. You spelled 10 wrong.
We appreciate
Thank
it,
you
Gabriel.
very much, Gabriel.
We appreciate
it. And if you notice, we're wearing our gear.
Oh, yeah. Just a quick reminder. You can actually still get gear if you'd like. We haven't actually mentioned that, the website for...
And if you go to YouTube page up top, there's a bunch of links. And one of them is a link to the gear.
Yes, YouTube page.
What did I say?
Cage.
The YouTube cage, yes.
So if you go to the YouTube page, yes.
So we were wondering if we should even do one today because of the Grammys. But then we realized that most people don't really care much about the Grammys right now. Except for the people that are really... I don't know half the people that are performing.
Yeah, I mean, I know who, so Billie Eilish performed, Harry Styles was the first performer, then it was Billie Eilish. I don't know the trio that performed after that. I hadn't heard of them. And then they did some awards. I mean, I love Trevor Noah, so I wanted to watch just because I wanted him, because I think he's funny, so I loved watching him host. He cracked jokes like every second he got.
This is our anniversary today.
Our anniversary of?
The first podcast we did at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
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 I know, yeah.
Yes. So do you think next year when we do a podcast in March of 2022, we'll still be in a pandemic?
No, we would have destroyed ourselves by then, and then we'll be cleaning up the rubble.
I highly doubt that.
I've been watching too many apocalyptic movies.
Gabriel says actually it was March 15th, so not quite yet. So we got one more day because Gabriel knows our podcast like that.
No. What he's saying is he's wrong. And I'll tell you why.
March 14th was a Saturday.
Yeah, I know. But what he's missing is we're not saying the actual date, Gabriel, Mr. It has to be perfect.
There you go.
We're not saying the actual date is the anniversary. What we're saying is the pandemic was declared in March 11th. So on the 15th of last year, we did our first.
On the 14th. Today's the 14th.
No, on the 15th of last year.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
We did our first post-pandemic.
No, not post. It was pandemic.
It
was our first podcast of the pandemic.
So this is actually our second podcast past the pandemic. Does that make sense?
We're still in the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so during the pandemic is what you're saying.
It's 1 year since we...
It's 1 year in the pandemic that we've been doing a podcast. It marks a year. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure if everyone else does, but I get
Stanley,
it.
if you see my Discord DM, you'd probably recognize me. You know what? I'm going to look while Beeb talks. And if you don't know...
Just turn your phone right side up.
You're not the boss of me. So tell them about the other podcast that we do.
What?
The Rawini
Aliens? One? Okay, So you actually brought it up. He brought it up at the beginning of the of this episode, where he has a podcast, and one that he does with himself and another guest, called "Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth." And his most recent podcast that he was referring to earlier is about the recent attacks on Asian Americans. It's a conversation that I believe and that he believes needs to continue. But the conversation was primarily with, or it was with Bishop, also known as Adisa Bankojo. I think I pronounced it correctly. If I did not, I'm sorry. Benjoko. Okay. So, and he's originally from the Bay Area. He grew up writing articles for Source Magazine. I can't remember all the other ones he mentioned, but he has a very big connection with the Asian community. So he came on from London to talk with Stanley about these recent attacks, and primarily the ones in the Bay Area, and also the ones where, where it's Black on Asian, and why that needs to stop, what we can do to fix the issue, and how we can get together as a community to do so. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please do. I encourage you. I mean, this is a topic that obviously resonates with both of us, and me also being a person that's half Black and half Asian. But I think this is a topic that everyone needs to care about, because you probably know someone that has been impacted by this if you don't know anyone directly. And if you think about it, we're all humans, right? We're all connected somehow, some way, even if we're not the same race. Even if we're not coming from the same culture, we're connected because we're humans. So this is why people should care, right?
I agree.
Okay, so now that I've gone on my tangent, are you back with us?
Well, remember Ryan Quintero? I can never say his name right.
Quintana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yay!
Yeah, he's like,
from Kron.
But he goes. Don't you remember me? I was your assignment. I did, dude. How can we forget you, man?
Yes, we could never forget you, Ryan. Never, never, ever.
Yeah, because I remember you, because we had a conversation about you one day, post-Kron, and I was talking about how many times I've had the cops called on me, and I remember we had a conversation, and you told me to stop reporting how many times people call the cops on me, and I never stopped doing it, but, because they still call the cops on me, even now, even when I'm with the cops, so it's all the same. My cousin's husband is Ryan. He's awesome. Yeah, I do remember Ryan. Yes, very. So
Quintana.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go.
Small world.
Small world.
Small world.
Always a small world.
Speaking about small world, guess who I let her watch? She watched one of the most racist comedian pieces ever.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. So last week we watched Coming to America, the sequel, right? This week I decided to catch up on a little bit more Eddie Murphy, because he talked about last week that he wants to come back to stand-up comedy. So I had never actually seen him do stand-up comedy, I was shook.
I want to say this. This is a person who doesn't even know who Rip Van Winkle is. So I let her watch Eddie Murphy Delirious and Raw at the same time.
And the reason he found out that I don't know who that is because this morning my alarm went off at 8:45, or so what I thought was 8:45.
No, she wakes up. She goes,
I wake
get up. It's almost time for your clubhouse thing. And I go, it's only 8. And she goes, no, it's 9.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock, right? So here in Arizona, we don't set our clocks. We don't adjust them at all. My clock on my cell phone decides to actually move an hour ahead, because it's automatically set for Denver for some reason. My location services is on, and I'm not located in Denver, but yet it moved up an hour. So I woke up a whole hour early, and then you said...
No, so I'm like, well, first of all, I already knew that it was 8 o'clock. And she goes, well, how'd you know? Because we have a grandmother clock that rings every hour on the hour. Well, in some cases, it rings half an hour. It is 5 minutes before the hour. It's like premature echimulation.
It is really annoying, and I'm really trying to get him to just cancel it and take it off the wall.
So with that clock ringing at 8 o'clock, eight chimes, I knew it was 8. She says, hey, it's 9. And I'm like, it's not 9. She goes, no, my clock says it's 9.
And I look at the kitchen clock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still 8 o'clock.
And I'm like, you got me up early, and I don't need to be up early. So then I say, I knew that when I first woke up, it was 6. And then I knew no way it could have been 9 that quick. I said, I know I'm not Rip Van Winkle. And she says...
I was like, hey,
Who's Rip Van Winkle?
And then I go, wait, is he related to Henry Winkle? And he's like, and he's like completely changed. And I was like, oh man, I think I just said something that really like put me in a hole.
It was one of these moments like face palm.
And I was like, oh no.
I was like, you mean Henry Winkler?
And no, I actually Googled and I was like, that's his name, right? And he's like, no. And then I look it up and I'm like, oh, Henry Winkler. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And then I'm like, please don't tell anybody about that.
Of course.
And like 10 minutes later, he posted on Twitter.
I'm already tweeting it out. I'm like, overheard in Phoenix.
So a lot of people are referencing my phone. You know what? So it's weird. My phone does not default to Phoenix or any city in Arizona when I put to set automatically under date and time. It defaults to Denver. And I actually thought I had turned that off because when we were driving, was it to Vegas last year?
It switched.
It kept switching back and forth like every few minutes. And I was wondering why. So I turned it off I would just set it manually. Well, I guess at some point I turned it back on and it's set to Denver time, but because we were on the same time as Denver, I didn't really matter to me. And then I realized, crap.
Okay.
It's still set to Denver.
So
I woke up an hour earlier.
So question was asked by RK Revolution at Mr. Badley, why doesn't Arizona do daylight savings time? And is it the only state that doesn't?
No, Hawaii also does not do daylight savings time.
And is it daylight saving time or daylight savings time?
I think it might be saving. But
savings. It's savings. Daylight savings time.
Google is my friend.
No, Google is not your best friend. Every time you go on Google, it gets where a little butterfly loses its wings.
It's daylight saving time. It's no S, but I've been saying savings time my whole life.
Yeah, because you're savings time.
Actually, you're just saving time. But anyways, at least.
So the reason why Arizona doesn't do it, because we're rebels.
Yes.
We do whatever we want here.
Actually, you know what?
We don't stop for red lights.
In all honesty, I don't know the history, so I don't know why Arizona or Hawaii don't do it, to be honest.
The truth is, it's so darn hot here that we don't want our days to be any longer than they have to be.
Well, I mean, I could assume that could be the reason, but I don't know, to be honest.
But look it up. Gabriel will tell us in 5 more minutes.
Diane has an alien phone, said Maxim.
So just so you understand how phones work.
Yes, Jeanette, we're on the same time as Pacific, which I actually love because now I can call my mom and remember, oh yeah, we're not an hour ahead. So anyways, go. I'm going to Google this.
The best part for me, though, is that I don't have to change. We don't have to change our phones, our clocks ever. We don't have to change them. Because you know how you like, oh, what time is it? Oh my God, I lost an hour of sleep. We don't have none of that.
Well, my friend did point out, though, that I'm just, I'm just basically going through it with my Cali friends and family. That's why I had my time just automatically set up. And I'm
friends and family. Isn't that like a thing with like T-Mobile or something?
No, just my friends and family.
All right. Anyway, so that being said, we don't do. Oh, and I got to go backwards. I'm going. So I thanked Gabriel.
What was that?
That was me going backwards.
Okay.
I thank Gabriel for the $10 donation, and the reason why he was able to do that. If you're in YouTube, there is a little button on the bottom with a dollar sign. You can click that button, and you can donate to the podcast anywhere from $1 to $700 million. And of course, if you have $700 million and you give it to us, we will definitely say thank you, and then we'll log off and we'll never see us again. No.
Oh my God. You are crazy. It's called Super Chat.
Super Chat.
On YouTube. Okay, so I did a quick Google, just an FYI. So Arizona, 50 years ago, the state legislature opted to keep the clocks in most of the state standard time all year. So that's right. I forgot. There is a part of Arizona that actually does move their clock forward.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the Navajo Nation.
Oh, is it? I thought it was down by Blythe.
Blythe is in California.
No, I mean down by Blythe on the border. I thought that right there they don't do it either.
Well, here it says Arizona summers are very hot, and an earlier sunset gives residents more time to enjoy tolerable temperatures before bed. So,
sorry, I have to clarify. Thank you, A9-21486. It's in the Super Chat is in the
YouTube section.
YouTube chat.
Oh, YouTube chat section. Correct.
So you have to go into the YouTube chat to make a donation.
Yes.
Into the YouTube chat.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so anyways, so Arizona doesn't do it. Uh, what was I saying? Oh, I lost my train of thought now.
You lost.
Okay, 50 years ago they opted to not do it, but yes, the part of Arizona that still does it is the Navajo Nation, which is a mixture of Arizona, New Mexico, and
So
Utah.
Jeanette wrote, the Navajo reservation changes because part of the res is in New Mexico and Utah. Yes,
Which
you
I just said,
Woo,
yes.
holla.
Holla.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla.
So anyway, back to the super chat. So yeah, if you go there, you can push the button and, and I want to thank people who have been helping. Some people have made some donations outside of it because my trip to Texas was a long drive and I won't say it's super expensive because we tried to cut corners, saving money the best way we can, but it was expensive. And since, as you know, I'm trying to make a living doing this because COVID kind of shut everything down. So this is how we try to feed and pay bills and what have you, and stuff like that. So they helped. Some people helped out with that, and I appreciate that. If they're watching, thank you. So super chat is good. No super chat is it's bad.
No, super chat bad.
No, super chat good.
Oh, I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, super chat good. No, super chat bad.
California passed the initiative to end time change crap.
Yeah, but
yeah, I was gonna say my mom was talking about that last year.
I know the answer.
What happened?
So they won. They put it in the ballot. And they let everybody vote, but then the politicians said, "Nope, we don't care."
So what was the point then?
It was just to see if there's enough. They just didn't do it. I mean, remember now, this isn't just a California thing.
No,
it's a nationwide thing.
Yeah, because I think it was Senator Marco Rubio said something earlier in the week. Out of Florida said something about daylight saving time too, that we should just get rid of it. I didn't read all of it, but
my old job in LA when I worked for CBS was every Sunday when I worked every Sunday religiously for years. My job was to go to Pasadena to a clock store in the Pasadena Mall and shoot all the clocks being changed back or forward.
People that were selling clocks, they had to change it.
Yeah, and I had to do it every single year. I knew when I woke up on that day that my store would be shooting clocks in Pasadena.
Unless there was breaking news.
No,
right?
I always shot that story. It was religiously I shot that story.
That's like your Groundhog Day.
Any footage you see on CBS of long time ago of clocks being changed was me shooting it because that's all I did every Sunday.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Ouch. Yes. What about Massachusetts trying to remove itself from Eastern time and change it to Atlantic time?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
That's a new one.
That's a thing. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So I'm glad. And remember
what their reasoning is behind that.
So my CBS job though was many that was like 30 years ago. So they had the grandmother and grandfather clocks. Now everything's digital. And I was going to say that the atomic clock. You know what atomic clock is?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Who has the atomic clock?
Every state.
But the atomic clock keeps track of. It's basically it will tell you if your clock is off by with a nanosecond because the atomic clock is supposed to be like super.
For example, with the iPhone, when I want it to set automatically, that means it's connected to the atomic clock.
Supposed to be, yes.
Except for why is mine always set?
Because yours is set for Denver for some reason.
But that's what I want to know, why it's set for Denver.
Yeah, let me see your phone.
No, we'll look at it later.
I'm just going to throw it away. That way you don't have to worry about it anymore.
No, I need my phone.
Oh, come on. You got insurance?
If I got to throw mine away, you got to throw yours away. You know, we don't have landlines anymore. Oh, we're frozen.
Oh, Lordy. First time ever we're frozen. But
okay, we just realized we're frozen. We're working on it.
Who froze up? Yeah, we did. Thank you. We're in space. So the final frontier. And these are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Okay, and we're back. What I was gonna say is, if we got rid of our phones, we don't have a landline. And did you know that last week was National Landline Day, National Telephone Landline Day, or something like that?
So I used to recommend that people always have a landline,
and we don't have one.
The reason why is because when power goes out, the landline always works. But the phone companies would do everything they can to make sure you got rid of your landline, so they can get rid of that. So what they told me was, yeah, you can keep your landline. We're going to charge you $70 a month.
Right. Because my mom still has her landline, and she doesn't really use it that much, but she's paying too much for it. So
they want to make you not use your landline, but when things go sideways, they tend to. Look at that! I'm gonna tweet this.
What?
It says, "You watch. I'll show you." It says, "Congratulations, you've reached 100 messages today with Restream," and so I want to hide that. But then it has a button to tweet, but it won't let you tweet it because they want you to show it. So you see that? That's crazy.
Donna says that we should be required to have a landline. I mean, it makes sense, especially if you have like a natural disaster, and your cell phone doesn't work, the towers are down. It makes sense, but I think a lot of us aren't thinking about what if. We're just thinking about convenience at the moment and extra money to spend.
And with voice over IP, it doesn't have the same. Voice over IP is still digital. So if the power goes out and the internet goes out, voice over internet over IP goes out.
Yeah.
The landline was a hard line.
Right.
And it always worked no matter what, except for if you didn't pay your bill, your phone bill.
Do you remember the phones, the rotary?
Remember the earthquakes in Loma Prieta earthquakes?
It was just one.
No,
the aftershocks, yeah.
Okay, so that was a good example of how no one could communicate because the cell phone lines went down. And some people believe that the government takes over the line so they can use it for communication. That's why they got rid of 3G, and now they have 4G and 5G. And that was supposed to break up so that the 3G can still be used by emergency personnel so they can communicate in a natural disaster and not tie up the 4G and 5G
I didn't know
lines.
that.
But then that's why they switched a lot of the things to digital. Like police cars now are all digital. There's no longer that, 3G was pretty easily accessible, but now they made it so it's much harder. And if you think I'm wrong, then and I'm talking about ham radios. Ham radios are completely different. Ham radios work in everything. I want a ham radio, but you need to get with a ham radio though. You need to sometimes get like special license for it. I want one of those license so I can communicate with people across the world.
That's a CB radio?
No. CB is like
completely different.
Yeah, citizens band. You can just talk to somebody nearby within a repeater or somewhere. But with a ham radio, I can literally ham it up with somebody, no pun intended, in like Russia or Japan or Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And it's just, but you got the better the ham radio, the better for the further away you can do. So they use those in disasters. Ham radio people they bring them in at the last minute when everything goes sideways. The ham radio people communicate back and forth, and some emergency personnel use ham radios to communicate. And Anon, I think and he said the FCC just issued new restrictions for ham radios. So as time goes on, things get more and more complicated in trying to use a ham radio.
Gabriel says, "Where's Jace reminding you that it's time for a commercial break?"
That's right. We forgot about those commercial breaks. Well, you know what that means.
It's time for a commercial break.
We'll be back in a few minutes. I forgot
just
about it.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, a few minutes of 1 minute, and we'll be right back. So while we were taking a little break, I tried to explain to her who Rip Van Winkle was, and
he just won't give it up.
She's like, "Well, how's that relevant to what happened?" I said, "Never mind."
I didn't get it. I mean, literally, I can't brush up on my Rip Van Winkle for 1 minute.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is.
All right. So, do you want to talk about what you're gonna your next guest for?
Next guest for Rawini for Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth is a guy who was very familiar with the. Remember the what was it called now? The Robin Hood trading app, And we're going to talk about...
What's up, Producer Jace?
Oh, there he shows up. Hey, weirdos. Well, I'm not weird. I just play one on TV. Also, read my response to Massachusetts and Atlantic Time. I will look that up.
Yeah, we're not really... We never heard about that. That's interesting. I don't know... I need to know what their reasoning behind it would be.
I don't know. Maybe they want Atlantic Time it's probably further out, so they get another.
I'll look it up. You can talk about your guess.
Eastern time zone. Anyway, so this gentleman is supposed to be an expert on the whole thing with the whole Robinhood stock thing, and I need to brush up on it because that seems pretty deep. And there you go. So why? There's nothing about it. When clocks change in Massachusetts. So I don't know. I've never heard that before. We just sprang forward 1 hour this morning. Yes, we did. That's in Florida where they're arresting people left and right for spring break. Okay, they said the reasoning is probably because in December, in Boston, the sun sets at 4:11 p.m.
Wow, that's early.
Heck early. Anyway, so we're going to take some questions because we haven't taken questions in a while. And then we're going to try to wrap this thing up so that way we can get back to watching. I think halftime for the Grammys is almost over. So if you have any questions for Diane, she will answer them.
I think most of the questions are going to be for you.
Nope, they're going to be for you. How much you want to bet? The first question will be for you. Pinky bet.
No.
You mean where they're not arresting spring breakers left and right? No, they are arresting them.
There was an article talking about they've arrested 100 spring breakers already.
And Robinhood, Anna, is I'm having a guest next week on Wednesday.
It's a free trading app. You can free trading on the stock market.
So the gentleman is pretty much versed on it. We're going to talk about it, the pitfalls. Yeah.
So Robinhood was big. It's still big, but it gained recognition back in January because of what happened with GameStop stock. I always have a problem saying that. I always say GameStop, but GameStop stock. Because there was a group on Reddit that actually had some sort of, I don't even know what they did because I don't necessarily understand the smart stock market as well, but they had a strategic plan, took over GameStop stock, that stock rose, and then people started trading on Robinhood. Robinhood had
short selling.
Yeah. Robinhood had to then limit the trading of that stock on their app, along with AMC, like all of these stocks that pretty much weren't doing well, that no one was worried about. And then all of a sudden they just started going up in price.
And then the one guy committed suicide.
And there was a 20, was he 20, I think? He was a college student, I believe. And he committed suicide because he thought he was actually like over $700,000 in debt. He received an email from the Robinhood saying that that's how much he owed. And he committed suicide because he thought he was in debt that much. And it turns out
it was a mistake.
A day after he committed suicide,
oops,
they sent a notice saying that it was actually a mistake.
It was like, psych. Oops, sorry.
So it was and I don't know. I mean, I've never used the app before, but if you're getting some kind of notice like that, I can understand that would be like.
Imagine getting a bill from like your gas company saying, "Oh yeah, you owe us $475 million because you used that much gas last month." And then you go and say, you take your own life, and then they get a note going, "Oh, sorry, our computer sent out the wrong message." I remember I got an IRS bill once, and I was like, "What?" And then I get a letter from them like a week later going, our computers inadvertently sent out letters saying that people owed money, and they actually didn't. And I'm like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, that could cause so many problems.
Can you imagine you get a bill from the IRS and they tell you, "Oh, psych, we're just kidding. It was a mistake, computers."
Chris says, "Diane, why don't you pinky bet?" Because I've never even heard of pinky bet until tonight. Like I thought it was pinky swear. So when he said pinky bet, I was just like, nah.
Nah.
That's basically why I don't pinky bet.
So what's funny thing about Robinhood though is like Robinhood
Anon, AMC, BlackBerry, all of those.
Robinhood means give from the rich, take from the rich, and give to the poor. But if you're Robin Hood and I don't understand the.
Well, maybe because it's a free trading website or trading app. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay, so you're not alone. I have no clue on pinky bet. When you bet somebody, you go, I bet you, and then put your pinky out. Put your pinky out.
That's not
I'm from Philadelphia, and we did that. Put your finger out.
That's not a
Bet
thing,
me.
though.
Bet me.
Bet you what?
Just put your finger out. Bet me.
I'm not gonna bet you if
There
I don't
is
know.
a pinky bet. Hashtag pinky bet.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's not going to show up in Google. I was like, oh, that's some hood stuff.
Oh, well, no wonder I've never heard of it.
That's right. That's when me and Tyrone, we like pinky bet.
Pinky bet, and then under image, it comes out.
See? Told you.
Yeah, no, I don't pinky bet. Sorry. Yep.
Okay. The idea of Robin Hood was to allow commoners to trade, which is typically associated with the wealthy. Okay.
Yeah.
I shake hands if I bet someone. We don't actually bet in real life.
Yeah, Donna, I'm all about I've heard of pinky swear, not pinky bet.
No, put your pinky out just for 1 second. Just help me. So you go like this, and you say you bet.
Oh, wrong hand.
And you bet, and you go, I bet you that you won't win.
But that's like pinky swear, where I'm like, do you pinky swear to tell the truth, or do you pinky swear to keep a secret?
But a pinky swear doesn't work in court. But a pinky bet
doesn't work in court either.
Yeah, you go to the judge and go, I bet you I never commit a crime again. And he goes, pinky bet. And then he'd be like, yeah.
Oh my gosh. You just kind of reminded me of
you ever done a spit shake?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I have not. That's disgusting. Especially during COVID, I'll pass.
That was a good movie.
I'll pass.
They did a lot in that movie. What's that movie?
I mean, I trust you, but I don't spit on your hand.
What's that movie called? Long time ago? Oh no, it's not long ago. Oh brother, where I thought they said we're gonna spit
No,
into
we're not
a can.
doing that again.
Yeah. See, ALK61. Okay. I like that people have these numbers with the name, like zip codes.
Really, Chris? You used to date a girl from Philly that actually did pinky bet, so that's actually a Philly thing?
Oh, so wait. So you have to hear from Chris in Hong Kong to verify that it actually happened for it to become legit.
Yes,
I do. So the poor brother over here who says it happens doesn't get credit for it. It's a Philly thing. I'm telling you. We used to pinky bet all the time. I pinky bet on the Mike Tyson fight. But that was always a winner until he bit the guy's ear off.
What guy was it?
Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield.
You know why? I can have a picture with him and I like this. And I said the next shot with me biting his ear off, the other ear.
Oh my God.
Yes, right.
Oh my God.
I think everybody owes me an apology.
Why?
Because I was telling the truth about pinky bets.
I
want my apology. I will not say another word until I get an apology.
Okay, I'll pinky bet you that I won't be giving you an apology.
You suck. Well,
Blue Collar Hero says the hedge fund managers were aiming to bankrupt the company. The gamers and common people kept it afloat with a huge surplus of reserves, which would bankrupt the fund managers, the short sell RS.
All right. Oh, Diane, you might want to wash your hands now, according to Gabriel.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I got a shirt for auction with a little bit of Beeb juice on it.
Oh, Beeb juice. Okay, some people might not know what Beeb is.
Oh, this is Beeb.
I'm Beeb.
And Beeb.
This is Beeb also. I'm Beeb 1 and he's Beeb 2. But he'll argue that he's Beeb 1. But since I came up with Beeb.
What do you think about Dr. Seuss and getting rid of books?
Well, I know that they're getting rid of 6 of the books. Correct.
I never heard of the books.
And to be honest, those 6 books that they're getting rid of, I have never read them. I've never read them.
Red fish, white fish, blue fish, green fish?
I had never even heard of them.
Is it blue fish?
No, that's not one of the books, I think. Let's see.
Is it ham
Did someone ask that?
No, I'm asking that.
Oh.
I would not eat green eggs and ham. I would not eat them Sam I am. I would not have them in the tree. I would not eat them with a bee.
How about you not say any Dr. Seuss quotes right now? Just in case.
In case what?
In case the whole, remember what happened with YouTube?
Oh, I know, but look, Mulberry Street. I live on Mulberry Street.
That's one of the books.
Really? Well, that was a book about me, didn't it? I want that. No, that's messed up. Mulberry Street, didn't know it existed.
Wait.
So we're losing everything as we're growing up now. It turns out everything in the world is offensive. When you say that's what we're going to right now?
So the other books are okay. So they include "And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street," "If I Ran the Zoo," and then Miguel Gets Pool.
Wait,
On
scrambled eggs?
Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. I've never read those books.
I've never read them either. Never heard of them. Moving on. Do you tell me how to get to Mulberry Street?
I thought we weren't doing any singing.
We are going to have a conversation real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Is that we did our last podcast for Millennial Boom last week, and we woke up in the morning and we were hit by a copyright infringement for the countdown music, and we were like, "Wait, what?" I'm just going like this so I can get my point across. I know, that's why
I tell you to stop.
And we were like, wait, how did we get a copyright infringement on a countdown that we paid for the license for the countdown through the company we use called Restream. And we were like, how is that even possible? Well, some company called Orchard Music. And if you get a chance, look up Orchard Music Scam. And apparently this company, according to articles I read, target people for their music that shows up on YouTube. Now, I think Gabriel sent me that he writes his own music, and they actually tagged him for his own music once. And what I also found out they do is they add the music. They'll change a note at the end of a song, republish it online, and then say that's our music. We own the rights to it.
That's shady.
And I thought it was something new. But I found people that were talking about this for 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So I found a guy who also wrote about it. And I wonder if this time you'll get a copyright infringement for the silence. Knowing YouTube, it could happen.
Wait, what's the silence?
No, we didn't say anything in the beginning because we couldn't figure out what was going on.
Oh, because we were like, are we on?
Yeah. That was, it's a song of silence. You ever heard that song before?
Stop singing so that we don't get
And so according to Chris, Orchard Music is the only one. So here's where I want you to think about it.
Orchard Music is the only one what?
No, isn't the only one that does this.
Oh, okay.
That they tag people for copyright violation.
Okay.
And they're making millions of dollars off of fake or in some cases illegal copyright things.
Anon says they're known for having scummy practices.
Yes. So they do. So what they do is you can put a song up that you made yourself. And you're like, this is my song. I wrote it myself. I got the music. And you'll post it. And then what happens is, and here's what happens. When you post it, they will give a copyright and says, oh, no, we're not taking down we're not taking it down. You can let it play, but you cannot earn any money off of it.
Yeah.
So basically, let's say you do a song and it goes and you just, maybe you get 36 views. You're like, I'm not going to really make any money off of 36 views, you would think. But what happens one day if you wake up and for some reason some entertainer saw that song on YouTube and goes, oh my God, I love this song. And I want to buy it from you. But because they are claiming that they own the copyright, the music wouldn't go to you. It would go to them, even though they had nothing to do with the song. So they were trying to scam me. The difference with me was, what just happened for you?
Nothing, just
so
keep going.
The difference with me was that the music that we had was from Restream, who said, I talked to them and they said, we own the music, we license it. And so it's our music. But they said, I had to fight it. So I had to go onto YouTube and claim that this is not true. So now it's in escrow, which meaning that now while we try to figure out who owns the rights to anything, they get to keep it. The money goes to whoever wins this battle. And in some cases, some people are told that if you fight it and you lose, you can lose your entire account. So many people don't fight it. So what you have is millions of little small copyright infringement claims that add up to millions of dollars over a long period of time. And so how do you fight that? That group actually has a website on their thing, knowing what they do and telling you how to fight against them for what they're going to do to you, which I thought was crazy. They're telling you how to fight them for them putting an illegal copyright violation on you. How is that even legal? But they do it, and it happens every day. So I was trying to find an expert to come on to reasons why aliens will not invade Earth, and I believe I found someone, and maybe in a few more weeks. So we're working on that one. But I missed some comments. I want to read them. You can keep talking for a second and discuss all the stuff I had to go through to get that copyright to even do that whole thing. Do you remember what I did to it?
No, I don't remember. I'll read through the comments.
So I had to actually go on and file a thing saying that no, they don't own the copyright. Here's why. And then since I have a license with Restream, I sent them a copy of the license. And so right now it's they're checking on it. So it's a karaoke channel would be default by then. It's a pitfall. So it's like
Pitfall.
Pitfall. Did I say pitbull?
No, pitfall.
Pitiful.
Pitiful, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said pitfall. My bad. Sorry.
It's the I is really small.
Yeah. So this happens a lot. And so I'm going to tell you that as a person who...
So Anon says the sad thing is most of Orchard's claims are based on YouTube's automatic content ID system.
Yes, but once they claim them, you have to fight. You're guilty until proven innocent. And that's not cool. And of course, Diane beat me to the correction. Thank you. Thank you for beating Gabriel to it. Every time he corrects me, I'm going to call him Gabe.
Oh, no. Well, he doesn't like being called Gabe. So
and I don't like being corrected.
Gabe. So I guess that's the the push for him not to correct you.
Yes, every time he corrects me, I'm going to call him Gabe. He hates to be called Gabe. Right, Gabe?
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Diane.
What? Diane, yes.
Why do you read my
can't
comments
see it.
in
Hold
the first
on.
person?
There you go.
Why do you read my comments in the first person? Because that's me. I'm a first person kind of guy. Right? Reason why I read them in the first person, Gabriel, is because this is a podcast, a verbal podcast. And if I don't read them, then people won't know what you're saying. So I have to say your name and then read it so that when people are watching the podcast, strike that. When people are listening to the podcast on the radio, they don't have to wonder what I'm thinking. I'm saying it out loud. So I'm being you for a few seconds. You know what's sadder? There was a time when companies would put a claim on sound effects. Oh, remember that?
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Remember we got hit with the countdown. The U.S. Olympic committee put a countdown, put a claim on our countdown, which had no music. It was just numbers counting down. And they didn't do the whole thing. They only did little small.
That countdown's like getting us in trouble.
It's always a countdown.
No, I know, but why? It's that same countdown that Orchard group is, right?
Yeah.
The music that goes with it, though.
So he wrote, the violation claims are bad on content, too. If you mention that pandemic being a hoax or masks being stupid, they strike you on the grounds of misinformation. Interesting. So now that I read that, guess what that means?
What?
We're going to strike for misinformation.
What's the misinformation?
That we said that's the C word.
What C word?
This word right here that I can't say out loud because right there. You can't say that. They ding you for misinformation. Remember?
No. You didn't read the whole thing. If you mention it being a hoax,
I know.
But
I'm saying that I wasn't reading it that way because those words are in there, and the robots will pick up COVID and the H word.
We've said COVID every single.
No, we didn't use the H word though.
We did. Yeah, so we're fine.
No, I didn't want to read that with the word in it because then I got it. The robots pick up both words.
I gotcha.
Like, what was that time I got dinged for? I was trying to tell people that something wasn't bad, that was bad, that people were putting out there. And then they dinged me for saying that I was giving misinformation, when in actuality I was trying to clear up misinformation that other people had put out. They said, you can't do that. Your information of correcting.
This was YouTube?
Yeah. Your information of correcting misinformation is misinformation. I'm like, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're frozen.
Anyway, me 1 second. We're going to be unfrozen, but
So we'll have to figure out what's going on with this because we thought we came up with a solution for the freezing, but it turns out not so much because we've already frozen twice.
We've been doing everything we can to figure out this freezing thing. We've upgraded the internet. We've just settings. I've had producer Jace with me going through settings to make sure. We've tried unplugged in, so we're not even. I think the funny part is it's not the internet, because if it was the internet, then the sound would not be there anymore. It
might be your camera.
It's this camera, I think, and we need a better camera. So
if anyone has any web camera suggestions,
by
all means, let us know. Well, I don't even know which one we have right now, but it doesn't look like it's serving us well.
Yeah, we're using one we bought, and it was okay. It started off okay, and then all of a sudden it just started failing.
What's interesting is that when you used to do before we actually started doing the podcast, when you used to test out the camera, or we were doing the podcast with our phone camera.
Yes.
Then when you started actually testing this out, you didn't have the reoccurring freezing, right?
Right, didn't have it.
So, not sure.
We don't know. It's something to do with the camera, because this here tells me up here that it's failing. But yet, if it was the whole internet, then we lose our audio too.
Right. No, I know.
So I think it's a camera. I can't read the name from here, but we're not going to. We may have to not recommend them anymore.
So if you guys have any camera suggestions, comment.
Yeah, send us one in the mail. If any web companies out there that want us to use their camera and they think it's a better camera, then hit me up and we'll use it, and we'll even mention that we're using it. And that note, we need to wrap this thing up because we were supposed to be on for half an hour.
Yep.
And it's been an hour because we carried on and we had fun. But now it's time to say goodbye.
Oh, that's good to know. Anon suggested this camera here, but he says it does not work with Restream. Okay.
Which camera?
This one right here.
Mevo Smart works pretty well, but expensive.
Mevo Start.
Yes, I meant Smart. Oh, you have better things for me now. I can't see all that stuff. Anyway, we got to wrap this up because.
Anyways, I'm a boomer.
And I'm a millennial. Although I know who Rip Van Winkle is.
You must be so proud.
I know that he's not related to
Henry Winkle. All right, so like Stanley said, next week we may or may not be on Sunday, so we'll keep you posted. But you will have an episode of Reasons Why Aliens Will Never Invade Earth on Wednesday, so stay tuned. Time?
6 p.m. No, wait, because everything changed now.
Yeah, you're still going to do it are you still doing it 4-hour time, which would now be 4 Pacific?
So 4 p.m. Pacific time, yes.
Okay.
Word, yeah, because that worked perfect. We did it at 6 last time because we were dealing with Adisa, and he had another thing to do, and we had to push it back. But yes.
Yes. Anyways, good night.
Oh, you just kicked me off air?
No, we said bye. Everyone was saying bye, so I wanted to say good night.
All right, good night.
Good night, guys.
That's what's up. Stay strong, my friends. Woo!